Hey, so in this video, I wanted to give you like a quick overview of the present tenses in English. And if I ask you the question, how many tenses do we use in English to talk about the present? What would you say? Probably four. And if you say four, you'll be right because in English, we have exactly four tenses that we use for that purpose. And they're the present simple, the present continuous, the present perfect continuous, and the present perfect simple. And today, I'm going to give you an overview of all those four tenses. And also, I will expand that a little bit to also cover the stative verbs in English because they play a major role in the simple and continuous tenses. So without further ado, I will share my screen and I'll be talking together with my presentation. So let's hope things go well. Now, okay. So we've already made that clear. Obviously, those are the four tenses. And pay attention to the third one. Why is the third one present perfect continuous and not the present perfect simple? Why do we put the simple tense at the end? When we get to them, I'll tell you. But first, starting with the first one, the present simple, we all know about it. We've all heard about it. This is the chance that you basically begin your English training with. Why do we use it? Well, you might say for things that generally happen, things that normally happen, that usually happen, sometimes, always, never, almost never. And you'll be right. Those are all trigger words for the present simple because we use the present simple to speak in general about the present, of course. So for things like, I usually work from 9 to 5, or I'm a teacher, or I own this apartment, things that are generally true, not just now, not just for a while, but things that feel permanent in a way. So that's important. General, permanent, those words are strongly associated with the present simple. And then we get to what feels like it's opposite, and that's the present continuous. So while the present simple is for those things that generally happen, so general permanent things, the present continuous is about very specific actions that happen inside of a very specific period of time. So typically when people hear the present continuous, they say the word now for actions happening right now. And they're absolutely right. This is probably like the most common usage of the present continuous. So right now I'm talking, right now I'm recording this lesson. But actually what's cool about this tense is that you don't even need to say right now. If I say I'm talking or I'm recording a video, it's obvious that it's happening now because of the tense, because that's why this tense exists. So it's not like in other languages where we need to say now or right now. We don't even need that in English. It's part of the logic of the language, of the tense. So, okay, that's one of the scenarios, but there are actually two more scenarios in which we need to use the present continuous to talk about the present. Another one would be, and I'll make another click here to show you the rest. So another one would be a temporary action in the present. So basically, something that is not just happening now, not just at the moment of speaking, but within a larger window of time. But that action still needs to be temporary versus a permanent action that is like always valid. So those periods of time could be, like you can see on the screen, they could be a day or this week or this month or this current season or even this year, and it's usually not longer than a year. So to give an example, I can say that I usually live in Sofia, but this week I'm living with a friend in Varna, because of something, whatever. Or this summer, I'm working as a teacher. Why is a teacher this summer? Maybe it's a summer job. This summer, I'm working as a waiter would be a better example because, working in a restaurant, especially by the seaside, is a seasonal job. So you can express it in the present continuous tense That example with the teacher was really funny. Anyways, so the third scenario would be a current ongoing trend, something that is happening, that is in progress, in development right now. It includes the present moment, but it's not just the present moment. Again, it's longer in duration. Like if something is growing, like we're talking about the stock exchange, or we're talking about crypto, like Bitcoin is rising, it's going up, or the value of Bitcoin is going down. If it's currently happening, that's expressed in the present continuous. So remember those three scenarios. It's not just about those actions happening now, it's also those longer periods of time, which still feel temporary though. And then the next one, and I promised that I was going to tell you something interesting here. Well, that's the present perfect continuous. Why is it not the fourth tense? Why is it the third tense on my presentation? Well, it's because the main job of or even the only job of the present perfect continuous is to connect the past to the present. This is the only tense that has this job. Every other tense, they have other functions, but this one, it's what it does. So to use it, we need to speak about actions that started in the past, but are still in progress at the moment of speaking, so right now. So I can say, I have been recording this video for 5 minutes. The action started in the past, but it's not finished yet. It's still happening. Or I have been working as a teacher for 10 years. Now, that's again an action in progress. I'm still a teacher. So the action, me being a teacher, is still in progress. That's why we need to use the present perfect continuous. Many other languages don't have a tense like that. In English, we have it, and it's important to know when to use it because it's very common. And it's at number 3 because, yes, this is its main job, but we also have the simple tense, the present perfect simple tense in brackets to talk about the present, because we use the simple tense instead of the present perfect continuous tense to speak about actions which are expressed by stative verbs. So what are stative verbs? Well, stative verbs are those verbs that do not represent physical actions. So a physical action is like run, work, talk, drive, you can all imagine them physically, but stative verbs are more about states or emotions, or rather than anything else, things that don't even change that easily. So an example of a stative verb would be have, when it means to own something, to possess something, and also own and possess are stative verbs. Be is also a stative verb because it's related to the state of existence. So be, exist, are stative verbs. There are others. I will not go through the entire list here because we'll actually do that in a separate video lesson. But one more thing that I want to add about the stative verbs is the verb think, because think can be both an action and a stative verb. It's an action verb when think is about the process of your mind or your brain working. I can ask you, what are you thinking about right now? And this is in the continuous tense, in the present continuous tense, because it's about an action happening now, and think here means an action. But if I show you my phone and I ask you, what do you think about my phone? Basically, I'm asking you for your opinion. What's your opinion about my phone? What do you think about it? So in this case, think is a stative verb. And even though I'm asking you now, I need to ask you in the simple tense. What do you think? So the same thing happens in the perfect simple and perfect continuous tense. Actually, that difference that stative verbs make, it happens all across, all of the tenses in English. Doesn't matter if we talk about present, past, or future. It always applies. So when we can't use the present perfect continuous tense because of a stative verb, we need to switch to the present perfect simple. Like, I have been a teacher for 10 years. The action is still valid. It's still happening, but the verb be is stative. So instead of I have been being a teacher, I only say I have been a teacher. And I will go back a couple of slides. Yeah, sorry, I was going to be here. So have been or has been, that's the present perfect simple, not the continuous. Have or has been plus ing, that's the formula of the continuous tense. So I have been a teacher for 10 years. This is the formula for the simple tense, the perfect simple tense. So remember that, and that's why we can include the present perfect simple to that group of 4 tenses that we use to talk about the present. It's because really when we have this kind of exception, this is when we need to use it. But normally, it's the continuous tense that we need to use. So that was it. Now I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I almost said share, but I'm going to stop sharing my screen and conclude the lesson. So that was it for today. That's the overview of the present tenses. I hope that was helpful for you. Next time, we'll focus more on the stative verbs versus action verbs in English. We'll look at the different groups that we have. We'll look at more examples to make it more clear for you. And then in the future, we'll also continue with the other groups of tenses, past and future. So stay with me. Just keep on watching. Bye.